A very warm good morning to everyone present here, respected Nurji ma'am and all my fellow friends. Myself Amandeep Kaur and my teammate Priyam Borgohai of Women's College Tinsukia, Department of English is going to present a discussion on the topic Father Son conflict of the play Desire Under the Elms. We have divided our presentation into parts, so I will be dealing with the first part and the next part will be continued by my teammate Priyam Borgohai. Desire Under the Elms is a tragic and naturalistic play. It is written by an American playwright and novelist Eugene O'Neill. It was published on 11 November 1924 and was set up in 1850 New England. The play is divided into three parts and each parts have four scenes. There is a person named Ephraim Cabot. He is the head of the family and owner of the farm. Earlier he has two wives and has two sons from his first wife whose names are Simeon and Peter, and another son from his second wife Eben Cabot, and Mr. Cabot is marrying another one now whose name is Abby Putnam. The story begins with all his three sons, Eben, Simon and Peter. These all the children always disown their father. They don't respect him because Mr. Cabot used them. He used to take a lot of work, especially from his elder sons, Simeon and Peter, because they were much more taller and older than half brother Eben Cabot. They are typical farm laborers with their hands, faces, and clothes stained with mud. The two elder sons don't like to work there. They want to get freedom and desire to go to West and make money. Eben has grievance against his father for the ill treatment that his mother received from his father Cabot. His mother was a kind-hearted woman. He thinks that his mother had died because his father made her work hard. He also believes that the farm originally belonged to his mother from whom their father had taken away the farm without having any right to it. When Cabot arrives with a new wife, Abby, she becomes a new claimant to the farm. Eben therefore begins to burn with a desire for revenge on his father and to take the possession of the farm. Cabot is determined to retain the ownership of the farm too. He can part with his son but not with his farm. He does not admit Eben's claim that the farm originally belonged to his mother. He asserts, on the contrary, that the relatives of Eben's mother are falsely filed a suit against him in order to take possession of the farm which had always been his and only his. He would rather set fire to the farm than allow anyone else to possess it. Both father Ephraim and son Eben are described having similar expressions. Eben is said to look resentful and defensive, while Ephraim's face seems hardened as if it were cut from rock. In regard to their personality and the way they move through their lives, they both display a cold fierceness, competitiveness, and inherent distrust of others. They both allow their obsession with possessing the land to affect their interpersonal relationships. The environment surrounding the youngest son Eben plays a vital role. The shadow under the elms, the symbol of great mother and dark mother, covers the house with a heavy burden. The youngest son is the only man who actually feels the burden, and no other character experiences feudal resistance and repression to such an extreme. This is evident in his affection towards his mother, which in turn result in the retaliation against Cabot, who cursed her mother to suffer and die. The play reveals his strong need to take revenge against his father. Thank you.
Thank you, Amandeep. Once again, good morning, everyone. Myself, Priyam Borgohai, a student of Women's College Tinsukia, Department of English. So I will take on the second part of the topic, father-son conflict. Let's begin. Eben desires to take revenge on his father, old Cabot, for the wrongs done to his mother. Through his actions, he wants to bring peace to the troubled soul of his mother. Eben desires to possess the farm and is prepared to go any extent to realize his dream. So at the outset, he buys of Simeon and Peter's share of the farm for a consideration of $300, each to facilitate their passage to California in search of gold. However, this money that Eben gives to Simeon and Peter glitter belonged to old Cabot, their father, who had saved and hidden it for further use during his old age. The damaging influence of mother fixation or excessive love for the parent of the opposite sex is seen in the life and character of Ibn. Ibn's mother is dead, but he cannot forget it, and he thinks that his mother succumbed to all the torture and hard work undergone in the farm. He thought that the soul of his dead mother would find peace only after he takes possession of his farm. Besides, he accepts the proposal of his stepmother, Abby Putnam, because he thinks that it would be a suitable revenge for the injustice done to his mother. He then convinces himself that his mother is pleased when he makes love to Abby, and she would henceforth rest in peace in her grave. His edible search for a mother in Abby is very hard to miss. Symbolically, Ibn and Abby consummate their love in his mother parlor. It is the same place where Ibn had bonded with his mother. Throughout the play, Ibn feels his mother's presence in the farm in a supernatural form. It becomes difficult for the audience to accept this complex, inappropriate, wrong relationship between a mother and young son. Unaware, both Ephraim and Ibn compete with each other. Ibn competes against his father, and his hatred and anger is deep. However, this love triangle leads to the final tragedy. When a son is born to Abby, old Cabot becomes extremely happy, for he has got an inheritor to his property, chiefly his farm. On the other hand, Ibn is thrilled, for he feels that his revenge is now complete. But when Cabot tells him that Abby has used him as an instrument merely to get an inheritor, Ibn gets mad with anger, though he truly and passionately loved Abby. The evil woman has befooled him, and so he wishes the child to be dead. Abby murders the child in order to prove her love for him was true, and she was ready to go to any extent to prove her love. However, Ibn realizes the intensity of his passion for her and decides to accept the crime of infanticide with Abby, and plan was basically his brainchild. Later in the play, Cabot and Ibn come to actual blows. They grapple with each other in a murderous fight, and Cabot would have suffocated Ibn to death. Abby not came there and separated them. Though Ibn doesn't kill his primal father, but breaks him psychologically and emotionally by inflicting on him intense pain and horror. From the above discussion, we come to an end that father and son had conflicts between old and young, man and women, storms around in the midst of desire, sexual urges, materialistic greed, and desires for property. They were more concerned with property rather than human relationship. That's all. Thank you. Thank you everyone for your time and attention. Lastly, I would like to express my special thanks of gratitude to Miss Narji ma'am for giving us this opportunity, and also I would like to thank her for her able guidance and support. Thank you.